Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. We're going to do some animal wrestling. Please. Oh, yeah. You want to wrestle a tiger in those shorty shorts? Talk about bravery.
Hey, look, are you porn bombing yourself? You have the manliest man on earth playing with pussy right now.
I know.
How
There's
dare
been more
you?
pornography on this show than I was expecting.
Obviously, you're an amateur.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
We got a raccoon. Here's the bear wrestling. You are wrestling a bear in shorty shorts. You dumb son of a
Because he's a real man, and I bet you he doesn't even cry in the shower.
I bet he probably doesn't. I bet that drain gets pretty clogged up, though.
Dude, I can guarantee you that one. I can testify from firsthand experience on that one. I got 2 hair blocks in my drain, but that's just me. You might not need so much.
What a wondrous and simpler time when they just let you wrestle bears on television and nobody said shit about it.
Well, apparently you can still do that in Russia, although it's not quite so sanctioned.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, and Alaska, but that's not sanctioned at all. The bears aren't playing. They don't know it's part of the game.
And the bear has to drink more vodka than the wrestler to make it fair. Have you seen the trailer for Indiana Jones and the Tits of Travesty?
Oh my God, no. And I refuse to watch any aspect of it. I'm simply waiting for it to become available so I can be one of those response trolls that just downvotes it and walks away without saying a word or giving it the first bit of lip service. No.
That thing's downvoted into oblivion on YouTube.
Good. It needs to be. I'm so
it was something like, I read something like 15,000 up, 100,000 down.
Boy, that's good.
Yeah.
I am so sick and tired of having absolutely every individual with any form of masculine trait whatsoever completely trounced by a 112-pound cheerleader with a vagina complex.
Yep.
These things are getting out of hand.
Yeah,
I'm all for the strong and independent woman. I don't have an issue with this. You can be a career chick. You can do that. What you can't do, and it is clinically impossible, to beat up Arnold Schwarzenegger, be a fucking PhD, have your entire life in order, and be married. No, this is not a mix that will work. You can't be spec ops.
You mean
a White House
you can't take Rey the Magic Mary Sue and give her Luke Skywalker's lightsaber and Luke Skywalker's last name and have her be exactly like Luke Skywalker in the estimation of the movie-going public? You mean that's not an equation that works for you? I'm shocked. You must hate strong, powerful women.
I don't mind strong, powerful women. I very much enjoyed Alien. It was one of my favorite franchises. I extremely enjoyed Terminator, another excellent franchise with a strong, independent female in the lead.
And those are always the first 2 pictures you think of when some young woke idiot who's never seen any movie prior to 2008 tries to say that strong female action heroes don't exist. Okay. Oh, there's OJ. Sorry.
Yeah, well, when you see a murderer in the streets, you kind of have to point them out.
Right?
Beauty. That seems
wow, look at that. Wow, look at what's on your screen right now, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! I'm going to let that pass without comment. OJ and Bruce.
Screaming fire in a crowded theater. I'm not sure.
God, I hate that cliche more than I can express.
I know, but short of that, that's what I'm saying, is that type of activity is a direct violation of safety protocols and courtesy, to such an extent as I say, okay, let it be illegal. However, pretty much anywhere else is open game.
Except it isn't illegal unless it causes a disturbance that
leads to damage,
causes someone harm. Yeah. If you yell fire in a theater and everyone just tells you to fuck off and they stay in their seat, you haven't committed any crime. You've just been a rude asshole.
You know, I had a conversation with a buddy of mine about the definition of treason and high treason. And he was like, wait a second, let me get it straight. You think there are American citizens that work at Twitter that need to be strung up and hung by the neck until dead? And I said, no, I don't know that. But I have a strong suspicion that some of the activities that took place behind closed doors at Twitter may very well be high treason and hangable offenses. Whether or not they need to be hung, or if we would, as reasonable people, look at it and go, yep, that's high treason, hang them. I don't know. But I knew that that's the punishment for such activity, and that such activity was very likely taking place at Twitter headquarters. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, by law, yes, seems logical.
If you want to talk about people who are verifiably guilty of treason, I would start that list with a couple of guys named Mayorkas and Fauci.
See, that's another one me and him butted heads on. Was like, he seemed to believe that, well, no, Fauci honestly in his good faith thought he was doing what was best. And I said, what about the AIDS pandemic? What about the fucking SARS pandemic, the first SARS pandemic? What about, he called the wrong shots so amazingly well. We would have done better to do the opposite in every case.
And you'll notice also that when people defend Fauci, and you fill them in on the actual series of events, and there's no conspiracy mongering here. It is all stuff that's a matter of public record. They have no idea about any of it. They have no idea that Fauci sits on the WHO select panel, whose special dispensation was required for China to be allowed to build a biosecurity level 4 facility in the first place. And I've found I'm able to shock some of his defenders pretty profoundly when I state that one, because they just have no fucking idea. It's like a bolt from the blue.
You sure you want to go down this road, bud? Because
yes. Oh yeah, we can go down this road all night, my friend.
Chew on this motherfucker till I foam me at the mouth, dude. Fauci is a
fire away.
All right, so does anybody remember the first time you saw Fauci?
Yep.
Where was it? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was back during AIDS, late 80s.
86, 85, 87?
I'm thinking 87, 88, somewhere in there.
All right, so the first time I saw Fauci, he was appearing on, I think it was Channel 4, I think it was 88, 89, and he was doing this long interview on the absolute just incapability of controlling the HIV pandemic. And he was referring to it as an epidemic, a pandemic, a scourge. It is ruining the best and brightest in this country. They are the ones that seem to be getting it. Meanwhile,
he said 10% of heterosexual Americans were going to be HIV positive by 1995.
And he was wrong.
About as spectacularly wrong as a person can be about a thing. Rumor has it Stacey Abrams is going to be the next head of the FCC. A person who has accomplished literally nothing in her life except writing some bad porn novels and losing 2 governors' elections.
No. She is a quintessential loser. She is the most underdog of underdogs. Her and Beto O'Rourke should run for president in 2024, and we would have an absolute lockdown for a Dominion win.
Yeah, Robert Francis O'Rourke. There's another one.
I don't know.
Flips and bong rips, bro.
I mean, these people are literally famous for losing.
Yes, and they still have every expectation of upward mobility and increased power and increased prestige. Somehow.
In fact, they even have exactly the same narrative for why they lose, with a little bit of a paint by number exception.
It's voter suppression. It's those damn right wingers again.
The Republicans will not let the gays vote. Yeah. The Republicans will not let the blacks vote. You know how many black people I know that don't have an ID? None.
Probably not many.
One. Not one.
Yep.
Not a single one. Because around here, if you get pulled over, they're going to ask for your ID, and they're going to get everybody's ID in the car. It's just kind of the way it goes. Welcome to Georgia. So if you don't have an ID, you get to sit in the back of a police car for 3.5 hours while they run your toe prints to find out who you are.
And somehow, when you go on CNN or MSNBC and say with a straight face that voter ID is racist because non-white people don't know how to go to the DMV and get an ID card, somehow that's not racist? To say that black people are too stupid to get a driver's license, that's not racist. That's the anti-racist position, because that's a pretty long bridge to cross for me. I'm reminded of the example of Richard Nixon, who we have been conditioned to believe for the last 50 years is the biggest villain in our political history. But in 1960, Richard Nixon could have handed himself the presidency, because he was the vice president at the time, by accepting one set of the disputed electors from Hawaii and not accepting the other. But he accepted the set of electors that resulted in him losing the election because he didn't want to create the appearance of impropriety. So he screwed himself out of an election that he may have legitimately won, not just because of Hawaii, but Illinois too. There's all kinds of reasons to believe that Illinois was rigged by Joe Kennedy Sr. and Mayor Daley. But I struggle to imagine a politician today displaying that same level of character.
But you know, if that lady is about as dissociated from the populace as the gap in her teeth.
Can I tell a naughty joke?
It's your channel. You got about 5 minutes before the 2-hour mark.
That's true. I better get the naughty jokes over with. Well, I just think there might be a misunderstanding with Stacey Abrams wanting to take over the FCC. I think she might not realize it doesn't stand for Fried Chicken Commission.
I disavow we are consummate professionals. But you
We
did good. Take a lap, brother.
ladies and gentlemen.
Take your lap round the base.
When you want consummate professionalism, this is the place you come, right here.